Every tomb sweeping festival, Liang Jiyong comes to visit the tomb of his ancestor Liang Jiyong at the bottom of Baiyuan Mountain in Guangzhou. Liang Jiyong was the founder of the famous Wuchang China shop in the late Qing dynasty. Normally, Chinese people worship their ancestor due to family ties. But for Liang Jiyong, what he does reflects a new understanding regarding the inheritance. For many years, writer Fan Xiaojing has been writing stories about 13 factories in Guangzhou, so it's only natural that she would be very interested in the history of the Wuchang shop.
五常其身，梁生我好感興趣，點解你哋嗰個瓷裝要叫五常？
五常咧就係儒家所講嘅仁義禮智信，咁但係實際上另外仲有一重意思嘅，因為咧我嘅先祖咧佢係有5個仔所以佢叫做五常。
所以我好感興趣嚇，即係你哋早上嗰個瓷裝啊，點解會做到咁大規模？
除咗佢哋嘅工藝同埋技術好特別之外咧，其實係得益於一場偶然嘅事件喎。咁喺我哋而家睇嘅時間大概應該係道光初年左右啦。咁有一個歐洲嘅商人，佢就慕名嚟廣州，佢又嚟到五常號咧，就訂咗一批嘅貨物。但係諗唔到當日晚上咧，因為隔離屋咧失火，成個貨倉咧全部貨物燒毀晒。咁按照當時嘅合同嘅規定咧，條款咧規定，簽咗合同之後咧，所有貨就係你嘅，不論有所有嘅損失，你都要承擔責任，而且要俾錢嘅。咁呢個歐洲商人咧，佢就面臨住破產嘅危機啦。咁但係我哋嘅祖先知道呢件事之後，佢就講咗一句説話，佢話貨物係喺我哋屋企嘅倉庫損失嘅，你1分錢都唔需要賠。咁呢個歐洲嘅商人就非常感動。咁然後佢翻到歐洲之後，佢就對所有佢認識嘅呢個外銷嘅商人講，佢當時係有5個字，佢就話非供貨勿售，即係話唔係五常號嘅貨品，你哋都唔好買。
As a descendant of the founder of the Wuchang shop, Liang Jiyong has cultural genes in his bloodline that have guided the development of his career. He devotes himself to classical literature, visits China museums around the world, and explores the influence China's export porcelain trade had on the world. And visiting old and well-known China manufacturers is part of that journey.
现状我给你看看这个就是我在大英博物馆拍摄到的那个麦森房的德化罗汉和我们自己的一个德化。
这个看起来比较起来挺好玩的一个东西哈。
而且可能还有一种文化差异，就是他不懂得这样的一个罗汉本身的那个文化含义，
对，
所以在他们的想象之中，他就变成了一个在张着满嘴牙在笑的一个欧洲人的一个形象。
对呀，包括他的衣服线条的处理，你看啊，他这种很像古希腊的那种线条的处理。对，我们这个就很圆润了，对吧？对，就是我们中国传统线条的那种感觉，就非常舒服。这就是麦森坊的德化的第一件事情。
这是仿咱们的观音。对，我看出来了，他这个手
比较写实，
对，骨骼结构很像一只真的人手，但是脸相好像有点不同哈。
对，脸相他那边可能更像他圣母的那个脸相，而我们这个还是很有宗教，包括在比例上也是。对，他这个很正常的一个比例关系，我们这个叫头大，所以他可能不理解，这个可能我们在看这个活像的时候，我们都是仰看，对吧？仰看它通过透视的时候，它这个头在这个比例上它就很和谐。
其实就是东西方的审美的观念的一个碰撞而已。
在这边有一个呈现。
Dehua white porcelain was well known from as early as the Song dynasty around the 10th century, and it quickly became popular with foreign traders. Su Xianzhong grew up in a famous family of pottery makers. In 1915, Su Xianzhong's great-grandfather won the Gold Award at the Panama Pacific International Exposition for his work, Plum Flower. 95 years later, Su Xianzhong won the Gold Award at the National Ceramic Art Design Competition. Over this long time period, ceramics made by the Su family have been highly praised.
对，然后这件是我的，自在观念。那像我这件，是我近期的一些感受，就是说，把北魏、北齐的那种照相
质朴的感觉。
对，然后再通过的话一些基本的一些线条的塑造方法，把它融为一体。那这个可能呢，然后又把整个脸的这种
虚实
全部给它吸掉了。我不需要它这个表情了。我就吸掉，到最后就剩下几条线条，但是这个形体还是很清晰、很干净的。把来有质感的步态观念的整个迄种形式啊，这种感觉啊，等等的。还有有一部分是讲，我这摆看一本册，是迄个主角四大刀交佛祖的一个对话。这个对话产生也在起啊，那么从迄个质感来叫直看的这个感觉的物件，拢咧。我这种可能因是雕塑的原作较侪。我讲我是用土，我讲是用这个土的感觉，市边了我就嘞，按这种的感觉。我讲这部我也自然的材料。按这种的，这个部位可以过水啊，这个做一点。对你按那种步态观念嘛，这个按对了，迄个感觉来做。还是产生一个轻飘啦，软啊、轻的迄种感觉来表现啦。这个手法就大，我是用土咯。
When he was young, Su Xianzhong watched as his father sat in front of his workbench crafting vivid and dynamic figures out of clay. From that time on, he's felt a strong attraction to all kinds of works made of clay. Gradually, the inventiveness and intelligence of his ancestors enlightened the then 16-year-old Su Xianzhong. Out of some unexplainable impulse and a sense of responsibility, he began to concentrate on creating works relying on his instinct. He was entering an old world that, overnight, had become new to him. Ever since that time, he's been exploring the inherent spirit of Dehua traditions in ways that are seemingly implicit yet direct. His goal is to express meaning without being limited by form, and he seeks new possibilities for the presentation of this traditional ceramic art. The new possibility of combining modern elements with features from the past has attracted the attention of the ceramics industry worldwide. In 2014, the Museum Nahela in the Netherlands invited Su Xianzhong to hold an exhibition of individual works.
梁老师，这个整个就是业绩窑
这个业绩窑，
对，这个业绩窑它差不多一直延续在烧，差不多将近400年。
哇，400年了。
对，但是很多艺术家他会把一些东西拿到这边来烧，窑头差不多1280左右吧。然后窑尾要1360到1400。然后窑中间这一段呢，它基本上就是1300到1330之间，
相对就稳定了。
很稳定。我们现在像我们在烧艺术品，基本上在窑中这一段。像我们在烧，可能就要找几次，可能哪一个位置更合适我们烧。
我们很多其实都用电或者用其他的方式来烧窑，跟传统那种方式，你们认为还有区别吗？
用电烧的，它太气完美干净。然后这个可能很多人在感觉上，他好像想一种新的东西，他可能就需要一些用龙窑烧，因为龙窑的不可抑制性，这个是很强的。
Despite the impact of industrialization, Su Xianzhong insists on maintaining that it is this element of unpredictability that makes Oriental porcelain so appealing. Chinese people believe humans should abide by natural laws which allow room for imperfection. Due to its importance on the maritime Silk Road, Chaozhou City in Guangdong Province became an important place from which porcelain could go global. The firing of porcelain in Chaozhou began in the early Tang dynasty around the 7th century, and it reached its peak of prosperity 300 years later. Chaozhou porcelain has been discovered in various countries of East Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East. This shows that Chaozhou quickly developed as a major porcelain production center when the export of Chinese porcelain went through a period of rapid growth.
潮州油在北宋的时候，它整个工艺其实已经非常发达，瓷器的代工，我认为应该可以追溯到北宋。你打个比方，像这个凤首壶，它其实就是我们唐代宫廷上也有这样的造型。
对，
在波斯，这个是伊斯兰国家金银器的造型，
对，
拿过来我们把它作为陶瓷。明清的它主要就是生产以青花瓷为主了，因为这个青花瓷都是在海境背景下，得到了促进。我们的青花瓷呢，它主要还有外销的一些造型纹饰。它这些圆圈其实也是阿拉伯国家它那边的一种花朵花蕾的一种表现。
你看晚清这些地方，它除了厚重，它还，我觉得它应该是有一点那个阿拉伯宗教的那种色彩在里面的。你看晚清的这个心形的花纹还有这些也说不出是什么东西，在这个开光里面的这几个花纹，
估计是当时是应他们的要求来画的。
对，
我们当时潮州油除了这些青花瓷呢，主要就是销往东南亚，还有到中东国家。
After studying in Canada, Liang Jiyong came back home. He has his own understanding concerning the design and production of export porcelain, a business in which his family has been engaged for 3 generations.
这一块就是我们的那个 iPad 用词了，是吧？
是。
我们看到在这个系列里面，我就看到有很多设计理念，甚至很多中国风的东西。你自己怎么看？对，
中国有5000年的历史，有取之不尽的资源，这是别的国家没有的。
对，
我们这种风格呢，有中国的元素，再借鉴这些名瓷的它的构图，它的用色、
比例、
它的线条、它的比例，所以中西合璧。
Having expanded his horizons, Liang Jiyong is aware that in order to survive in the fiercely competitive export porcelain market, the most important thing is cultural confidence. And each porcelain piece should carry more Chinese cultural genes and aesthetic elements that are specifically Oriental. Oriental style ceramic ware for daily use has been attracting worldwide attention for more than 1,000 years. After the Song dynasty, porcelain became the #1 product in China's foreign trade, and this rapidly growing export trade led to the rise of more port towns. It was during this period that Guangzhou earned its place in history as the #1 port in the East. In the year 1087, an export administration ministry was established in Guangzhou, and in accordance with the policy of exchanging porcelain for goods, ceramics virtually became a kind of currency. Setting off from Guangzhou or Guangzhou, crossing the South China Sea and finally arriving at ports in Southeast Asia, South Asia, West Asia, North Africa and East Africa, boats laden with exquisite porcelain extended greetings from China to the rest of the world. Another commodity, Chinese silk, had already astonished the world as early as the 4th century BC when it was introduced to India and Europe. Before China got its name from the production of China, Romans referred to the unseen Chinese as seres, a name derived from the Greek pronunciation of silk. During the reign of Augustus, seres silk became a must-have luxury for the nobility. The elegant presence produced by silk and embroidery has long been admired in the fashion world. During the Haute Couture Fashion Week held at the Grand Palais, a young designer gained attention and was soon recognized by international fashion circles. Inspired by her inheritance of family traditions, she was integrating modern elements into Chinese silk. When Lan Yu was young, she was deeply influenced by the vivid and dynamic patterns of Suzhou embroidery. In the process of designing and making Western haute couture, Lan Yu found herself naturally integrating cultural elements from Suzhou embroidery into her work.
我刚开始学，刺绣的时候，那是12岁，12岁给我外婆，因为我小时候见了她，就特别的喜欢绣她，开始绣，是衣服、帽子，绣着绣着就喜欢了。那时候白天绣，晚上绣，你看晚上点个小煤油灯，也不亮。你外婆还嫌我点油，烧油多。一辈子喜欢就做这针线活，到现在我到80、90，我也还是喜欢这个。
It's not easy for this old lady to pass down the family craft she loves so much in modern times. But the good news is that her daughter has injected new life into the old artistry. Lan Yu began watching her mother and grandmother embroidering when she was quite young. To this day, she very much enjoys the peace and Buddhist tranquility she feels when doing this work together with her mother.
哦，要特别斜，是吧？
对，
要斜着在。
对，这不就有这个斜度吗？对，你就插针的时候就看见是挨着的
这儿，
就好了。
然后要斜到这儿，这样子吗？这儿，
在中间。
这儿，
对，中间。
这儿。
这个。你这不得在中间出来的吗？
那么刺绣最重要的是什么？是的，耐心吗？
对。
平绣就是越齐越好吗？
对。
但我绣不平怎么办？
功夫不到。
Lan Yu lives on the border between old traditions and the front line of modern fashion while having to hold international exhibitions. These days, she's been searching for ways to combine her love of Suzhou embroidery with Western fashion concepts in a way that's stylistically satisfying. She wants her work to have the same kind of cultural effect that silk produced when the Romans encountered Ceres for the first time 2,000 years ago.
苏绣在这个地方应该还挺合适的，因为整体来看也没有太好的，除非是这一片，或者是这一片，这两片，否则的话这么一大片苏绣，如果你把它给解剖开了也不合适，还是要突出这个苏绣的精细，要不老师纷纷绣了这大半年，空间很大，还是非常高的挑高。
Lan Yu and her team must overcome a multitude of challenges to ensure everything goes smoothly while doing their best to highlight the theme of their design concepts.
这些视觉上的东西，很美的东西，引到大家回到那个中国的最绚烂的时代。
In ancient times, the driving force for the formation of towns in China was the rise of handicraft industries, followed by the grouping together of manual workshops. This is Ziyang Street. This ancient street was once the most prosperous downtown street in Taizhou, Zhejiang province. Today, the family workshops and time-honored brands found here still bring to the street the feeling of pre-industrial simplicity and warmth. Families have inherited the handicrafts and they pass them on to future generations. But the inheritance is sometimes between a master and an apprentice with no blood relationship. The dried lacquer inlaid rami technique has been handed down through this apprentice inheritance system for more than 1,000 years. More than 50 years ago, 12-year-old Tang Chunfu got the chance to formally acknowledge the monk artist Shi Guanghong as his master. Under the strict master-apprentice structure, Tang Chunfu ultimately inherited the complicated technique, which involves 48 separate steps. And now, Tang Chunfu finds himself to be the only inheritor of the technique. He selected 2 young men to be his apprentices so that the craft can be carried forward. The dried lacquer inlaid rami technique was developed by Dai Kui, a hermit who lived in the era of the Eastern Jin dynasty in the 4th century. It quickly became popular since this method made it possible to make statues light and not easy to crack.
你们到这里来学这个艺的目的是什么？
达师傅，我觉得我们这一门手艺作为我们当地的非物质文化遗产，我觉得难能可贵。我们也有这个责任，还有这个兴趣，将这门技艺不断的传承和发扬下去。
我们这门手艺刚起加入有1800多年的历史了，我很想把它学到手，再把它发扬下去。
做人呢一定要规矩，学艺呢一定要规则，所以呢你们还要一个思想准备。到底有时候一个作品需要2年，或者是3年，有的一个好的作品需要10年，啊20年。这个现在是给像这一道工序呢也非常重要啊。这道工序主要呢就是我们要继续做那个包装抹布，涂好以后呢再用抹布，这抹布拿上来啊。这个抹布主要是要求是平整，主要就是像这种关于这个抹布这个缝啊，都要给它就是呢，给它密封。像我们这一种好像要做好呢，大约时间要需要1年时间，要非常均匀啊，没有起泡，那厚度必须要把握得非常准确。
The materials used in this technique are from the nearby Tiantai mountain. They include natural lacquer, rami, tung oil, and cinnabar. When making a statue, layers of rami cloth should be first glued to it. Then colours should be painted on the cloth-wrapped statue. When the colour lacquer has dried, the clay statue inside is removed and the hollow lacquer statue is finished. It takes 48 steps to finish a piece like this, and the most difficult parts of the process are inlaying the rami clothes and gilding. When inlaying rami clothes, all the air should be squeezed out. When gilding, there must not be any gaps.
这个金箔啊，贴好以后啊，要给它放30来天。30天以后呢，在外面再放上一层保护层。这个保护层呢，也是这个神器。拉稳了，下面放宽。好，靠近，把它改变开底，往里靠，没被碰到手来。
The thousand-hand Guanyin is one of Tang Chunfu's masterpieces. Normally, it takes several years, perhaps as many as 10 years of painstaking efforts to complete a statue like this. The usual vivid appearance and accurate craftsmanship aside, the larger size of a statue like this inevitably leads to greater challenges. This Guanyin statue is 26 meters tall and weighs 168 tons. It's said to be the largest 1,000-hand and 1,000-eye Guanyin statue in the world. Tang Chunfu has been engaged in statue making now for more than 50 years, and he has a good reputation both at home and abroad for his immaculate workmanship. In most cases, to acquire a work made by him, one should order it 3 to 5 years in advance. So far, more than 23,000 of his works have been collected by national treasure museums, galleries, and religious sites in 62 countries and regions in Asia and Europe. And the majority of collectors are from Japan. The popularity of Tang Chunfu's Buddhist statues in Japan is closely related to the eastward spread of Buddhism. In the year 753, the monk Jian set off from Taizhou city on his 6th journey eastward. After he died in Toshodaiji Temple in Japan, the monk artist Si Tuo crafted a sitting statue of Jian following his likeness using the dried lacquer inlaid rami technique. It was the earliest portrait sculpture in Japanese art history, and it's regarded by the Japanese people as one of the nation's most precious national treasures. Under the influence of Jian, in the year 804, the Japanese monk Saicho came to China in the company of diplomats to the Tang dynasty. After arriving in Taizhou, he stayed at Longxing Temple for several days before making his way to Guoqing Temple on Tiantai Mountain to study Buddhism. In May 2015, the 91-year-old Japanese scholar Murakami Hakuyu came to Ningbo. It was, in fact, his 110th visit. Apart from engaging in exchanges on matters pertaining to Buddhism, he's also committed to the study of Sino-Japanese porcelain history. While scrutinizing archaeological objects unearthed in Zhejiang, Murakami discovered evidence that porcelain spread to Japan during the Tang and Song dynasties.
すごい形ですね。こういう形は日本に全部残っています。貴族だし、欲しい。それがたくさん日本に入ってきたんですね。中国のシャコグルさんとか、シンさんとか、フランスの人たちが。
In ancient times, Ningbo was an important port for foreign trade. From the site of Yongfeng Ancient Warehouse, it's not difficult to imagine just how busy and prosperous the port was during the Song and Yuan dynasties. Ningbo and Japan have long had close people-to-people contacts. From the 12th century, a group of craftsmen and monks carried Ningbo's architecture, painting, calligraphy and other skills to Japan.
一共8个大德寺，叫京都大德。哎，对，对，大德寺。这100幅的500楼海图呢，一共又画了10个年头。
The 500 Arhats Buddhist paintings in the collection of Tokyo National Museum were produced by 2 painters in Shiban Alley, Ningbo City. At an exhibition in Nara City entitled Ningbo, a Sacred Place, 2 of the 500 Arhats Buddhist paintings were on display. On the 16 Arhats painting, we can clearly see the inscription made by Lu of Shiban Alley. The history of Chinese culture spreading to Japan dates back to the beginning of the 2nd century BC, when Japanese culture suddenly began to develop in leaps and bounds. It was at this time that objects of pottery and iron came into being, and people started to plant rice. Japanese historians now universally accept that this great period of development was due to the spread of the advanced cultures of the Qin and Han dynasties of China. In the Tang and Song dynasties, great progress was made in shipbuilding and navigation technology, and this made travel between the 2 countries much easier. A large number of Japanese monks, scholars and businessmen traveled between China and Japan, and this undoubtedly led to the spread of cultures. Many popular Chinese handicrafts were brought to Japan, and they were passed on to future generations in the traditional Chinese way, namely family inheritance. In Japan, people have the fermented soybean paste known as miso at almost every meal. Some say that the miso predecessor originated in China and was brought to Japan by the monk Liang Jiyong during the Tang dynasty.
This is our entrance. Yes, probably some your.
Mr. Asai, the inheritor of Japan's oldest miso family business, is receiving a Chinese delegation.
1600年代からここで味噌を作り続けています。日本で唯一2軒あるのがこの八丁味噌の蔵です。これはジャンとも言います。未生とも言いますけども、そのいろんな中国から朝鮮半島を渡って日本へ来たんだろうと言われていますが、そこで日本では各地でその変形をしたもの、加工したものが各々の地で残っています。この私どものここに住んでいる酵母菌や乳酸菌、酵素は